Let's do one more off the top, and that's this. Speaking of a world with possibilities, one of the things, of course, we live in a world where the Snyder Cut is coming, and so that's got a lot of people excited about it. Other possibilities. One of the things that's been going around online was make Solo 2 happen. That's, of course, in response to the Ron Howard directed Solo movie, which was really good, but didn't do great. As a matter of fact, it really became the first Star Wars movie to lose money. So, made over $300 million at the box office, which a lot of movies would kill to do.
Oh, yeah.
But for a Star Wars movie, that doesn't cut it. So you've had a lot of people asking, because the movie was really good, for another one. We've heard the screenwriter before saying, yeah, it's really not a possibility. We've talked about that on the show. However, now somebody else has weighed in on it, and that's director Ron Howard. And Ron Howard has just re-injected a little bit of life into the enthusiasm for people out there who may really still want to see a Solo 2. And he is basically suggesting that, you know what, it is still possible. Because we've been talking in terms of it's kind of really off the table, but he's saying it's still possible. But don't get too excited. Here's what he said. He said, no rumblings though, and at this point, not a spoiler or anything, but I think there is interest in those characters, said Ron Howard. I think there's interest in the gangster world somewhere down the line, but I can assure you that there is nothing being developed right now for a movie or Disney Plus. But one great thing is that there has been a lot of affection for Solo. And so, of course, that keeps boding well for them to eventually turn it around. So basically, what Ron Howard is saying is this. Number one, make no mistake, there is no Solo 2 happening at the moment. There's no plans for one on either a movie format or on Disney Plus. So just be clear about that, Ron Howard says. But he also gives us a little bit of insight into what's going on over at Lucasfilm. Remember, his daughter is working with Mandalorian right now, or at least did. He knows what's going on over there, and he's saying there's still interest in these characters. Now, again, not everybody loved Solo, but I'll tell you what, I really enjoyed that movie. I thought it was a fun sci-fi action film. I thought it was a great sci-fi action film. I really enjoyed it. And do I like it as much as Rogue One? No. Did I like it as much as, say, The Force Awakens? No. But it's still, I think, a really, really good, fun movie. And I enjoyed what they did. But to me, it still makes no sense to go back and do it again. Could you take one or two of the characters and have them appear in something else? Yes. That's always a possibility. I still, even though Ron Howard's trying to give some hope here, I don't see them doing another one. Look, Disney's all about the bottom line. We make a product to make money. Did that product make money? No? Then we need to move on to something else. And really, in the Star Wars universe, there's a million stories to tell. There's literally millions of untapped stories to tell. Why go back and do one for something that didn't succeed the first time around? And remember, I'm saying that as somebody who really likes that movie. Anyway, Aaron, you see them talking about this. You know how Solo turned out and all that kind of stuff. But you hear Ron Howard's words. Does that give you any more belief that we could actually see a Solo 2 happen at some point?
Yeah, that's the thing. You know, as I know that 3 seconds ago, I just was talking about the power of suggestion. There's a difference between who's suggesting it, and certain voices have a lot more weight in Hollywood than others. Ron Howard is definitely one of those 10-ton voices. When he says something, people listen. So while he made clear to say that there's nothing currently on the table, the simple fact that he's talking about it then causes us to talk about it, then causes other people to talk about it. Then all of a sudden, there really is an exploration of, well, I don't know, is there interest? Could there be interest? Are there characters that people want to see in the Solo world expand and have their stories told? Yes, you did mention that there's millions of stories that could be told, but are there stories that were not expanded upon in Solo that could breathe new life into it? But I think it's so funny how, when there's this world, whether it's in the Marvel Cinematic Universe or in DC or in Star Wars, no movie can stand alone. They're always compared to every other movie. So even a movie that made $320 something million, which is nothing to snub your nose about in any world, in this world, it is. You know, in this world, it's considered not a failure, but not a success, which is kind of crazy. And I wonder, is there a world in which even inside of the Star Wars universe, we can have standalone movies that can be appreciated without necessarily being compared to every other film in that universe? I don't know. Right. I don't know if that's possible. You know, maybe that universe has just become so much, you know, of its own thing that if you dare to make one, you just have to understand it's going to be compared to everyone that came before and everyone that comes after. And that's certainly something that the comic book movies face right now. A comic book movie comes out and makes $400 million and everybody goes, what went wrong? Right. Why didn't it make $1 billion? Exactly. Yeah. All right, guys. Question is for you. You've heard Ron Howard talk on this. I still think it's incredibly unlikely, but does that give you more hope? Do you think that keeps the flame alive? That maybe sometime we could see a Solo 2? Jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Okay, guys.